Pay attention to Komodo's data. She started another day of foraging management. Just arrived at a gutter tree. Komodo according to, I discovered that 2 little wild boars were creating. Wild boar is Komodo's reported favorite. What's more, 2 young wild boars were born soon. A little wild boar who has not experienced social beatings. I have no idea what Komodo has learned. Although one of the little wild boars was oppressed. The diaper I drove off is already wet. However, according to Komodo, Sid ran really fast. Komodo according to, he picked up the little wild boar and began to dry it in place. This boar is out of luck. I haven't experienced life yet when I arrived at my grandmother's house. It started to be rebuilt again. The little boar is not that big. Komodo is reported. True sense. What is 3 bites of a pig after receiving a handful? Just a few simple strokes. Komodo according to, he swallowed all the little wild boar in his stomach. Komodo, who is just 3 points full according to, she continued to search for delicious food nearby, where he believes there are little wild boars. There must be a wild boar. Sure enough, this end, adult wild boars are also enjoyed not far away. Mud nurturing, wild boar. I have no idea that the little wild boar is already thick with Barbie. Although it is not known that the wild boar is seeing Komodo, it is reported that. Why didn't you run away? But one thing is for sure. Komodo is reported to be preparing to take down the wild boar. Of course, wild boars are not accustomed to Komodo. I know the bad habits. Every time Komodo is reported to be close, the boar will be pushed back. Komodo is not known to be committing a crime. On the way to commit crimes. Let alone a wild boar. Just a tiger. Once you are targeted by Komodo Juicy, you will be doomed. Komodo Juicy takes advantage of the wild boar's inattention. It sticks its mouth full of bacteria towards the wild boar. The boar doesn't know the seriousness of the situation yet, but planted Komodo. It is reported that Venom's limbs do not listen to orders. The more the boar struggles, the closer it gets to death. A wild boar would never dream of. Just go out for a walk and be wiped out by the group. Big, wild boars are several times larger than young wild boars. Komodo according to, there is a certain degree of sleepiness in wanting to swallow it whole. But Komodo is known to have committed crimes without regard for the consequences. But this is the moment. The other Komodo is also reported to have smelled the fragrance. Then the 2 Komodos are said to have swarmed. Drag the wild boar to the jungle and send it to heaven. This is the courage of the little goat, it is too big. Komodo is reported to have run in front of his eyes. Didn't run away immediately. Instead, lying on the ground turned on the dry rice mode. If there is no accident, it will still happen by accident. Komodo according to, she bit the little goat's neck in 1 bite. Now the little goat realizes that something is wrong. But so far, Komodo is reported, don't give the little goat any chance at all. Press it to the ground and rub it back and forth repeatedly. In a short period of time, the little goats are under attack from the Komodo Creek. Got a packed lunch on the spot. It can be seen that Komodo is reported to be impatient. Directly at the baby goat. Began this mutton feast. I have to say, according to Komodo, she's strength is too strong. Put the baby goat's head in his mouth. I plan to swallow it whole. Look at the shape of the baby goat. Should weigh dozens of catties. Komodo has not eaten for several days. My stomach is already empty. Just waiting for the little goat to be able to feed myself again. Although the little goat took Komodo according to, Sid's throat is choking. But for Komodo's whole prey, it's not difficult at all. Komodo is known to use ground support. Push hard into the stomach against the other around the little goat. Komodo is said to be smelling the aroma of food. Then he quickly ran towards this side. But in the face of the giant Komodo, it is very rare. Without any sense of will to take it. After all, don't pay attention and let the Big Mac Komodo eat it alive. That's not worth the loss. After a short break, Komodo is said to be facing the baby goat. Start working again. According to Komodo, as long as the food can be swallowed, it must be swallowed in 1 bite. And this is also according to Komodo, the usual way to eat. As for the process, Komodo reportedly didn't care. He only cares about whether the result is successful or not. Komodo is said to have his mouth open, has swallowed half of the baby goat. But now it seems, Komodo according to, she was completely choked by the body of the little goat. However, according to Komodo, the way I do things is I'd rather choke myself to death. Swallow the prey. As Komodo learned again and again, the whole baby goat ended up being very smoothly. Komodo is said to have swallowed it. Komodo has many years of experience in catching the sea. I rushed to the sea again and decided to hit the house. I have to. Komodo's reported luck has exploded. A giant. The sea fish lie magically. Close your eyes and rest in place. Komodo's taste buds are already stirring. Pick up the giant sea fish and bore it in 1 bite. A sea fish so big. Completely unbeatable Komodo cancer. Clearly, 1 sea fish is not enough. Komodo cancer belly. Immediately after, a salted duck bathing next to it. Also reported to have been discovered by Komodo, although covered. The wet duck can't swallow at all. But Komodo is said to have never been a picky eater. Komodo is said to feel that if you can eat it, you can eat it. Just a salted duck. Also in the bag after the giant marine fish. I don't know what Komodo is. Did you read the Huang calendar when you went out? Komodo reportedly couldn't believe his eyes either. Another one, the sea fish actually got in the way of their own foraging. Komodo is said to often eat wild boar or goats. Risk of choking to death. Such silky sea goods. Komodo is believed to be very safe. along the tail of the sea fish. Just hide in place. Don't underestimate the belly of Komodo cancer. The powerful stomach acid allows him to eat no matter how much food he eats. You're not going to die. After all, Komodo learned that the third sister-in-law is not working. On the way to dry rice. If it weren't for the video recording, I can't believe it. There are all kinds of seafood on the beach. Small sharks are known to Komodo. I can't even think about it. Estimated lifetime. Komodo according to Shidu has never eaten such a hard dish. Komodo is not known to have tasted anything yet. The baby shark went down. But if you often walk by the river, you can't get your shoes wet. Mollusks are caught by Komodo. The moment of discovery. Something is bound to happen. However, according to Komodo, I don't know any mollusks. I don't even know the power of the sunfish. But the more unseen seafood, the bigger the surprise. Komodo is said to have made his ultimate move. Leverage force. Full firepower change. The mollusks are disappearing at a rate visible to the naked eye. However, it is reported that Komodo is still too confident. Choked to death on the spot by a sunfish. You can eat an electric barbarian. For the third sister-in-law, it is like Chinese New Year. However, it is reported that Komodo, who has just touched the electric barbarian, that's heavy electricity. The battery is miraculous. The battery is minimal. But Komodo learned that the third sister-in-law was still very frightened. Although Komodo is known to be at risk of being killed by rice. But the third sister-in-law will never be because of one. Throw away the food. Clever Komodo is known to have picked up the electricity and turned towards it. The safest beach to walk to. This electric barbarian is too big. Komodo desperately hopes for the electric barbarian lying on the ground. I was a little at a loss for a while. Don't say it's the third sister-in-law. Estimate you in front of the screen. It is rare to see such a big electric savage. Now Komodo is reported to have taken care of a lot. Put the head of the electric barbarian directly in his mouth. I got a stuffy throat. The big electric man covered in sand sauce. It's a little hard to swallow. Although Komodo is known to have teeth. But it's not for chewing food. Swallow the whole inkstone. It is the usual way of eating Komodo megalitosis. Komodo is extremely rare and can only contain electric savages. Look around for orders to intervene. But after some searching, Komodo megalopolis still nothing. However, clever Komodo is extremely rare. Did not give up the electric barbarian who was about to arrive at the mouth. After he came to the beach to wet his throat. Unlocked his ultimate move. Komodo is known to be choked to death from time to time. How will this third sister-in-law end? We don't know. But as things stand, everything is going well. In the blink of an eye. After the pad was finished, it was all swallowed by the third sister-in-law. It was reported in Komodo. Look up and thank nature for the gift of accident. This electric barbarian is excited. The three sweeps are unclear. The third sister-in-law with a confused face. I can only helplessly spit out the cable. This foraging Komodo is known to sneak attack the lost man who is going to drink water, although the lost body is very large. However, according to Komodo, sister-in-law she always eats when she wants any prey that can fill its stomach. In Komodo, it is reported that it appears to be its own cuisine. Komodo is reported directly at the moose. The most fragile belly rises the death beam. And the elk was very sparse by the Komodo in front of them. Totally freaked out. Komodo is said to have a mouthful full of bacteria. It's a nightmare for all animals. Under the survival instinct, elk begins to fight back with sharp antler power. Every day is either a goat or a wild boar. Tired of eating Komodo. The aroma of lost meat continues, stimulating Komodo's rare taste buds. Make him addicted. Third sister-in-law will never miss this falling from the sky. Under the buffet. Lost looking at the photographer hiding in the distance. Hoping to save myself. The photographer was too scared to go near the Komodo gap. Just scream and try to drive it away. But it seems that for Komodo Juhi. But it didn't work at all. Komodo Jusher is simply an invincible existence. Estimated to be local. Only 3 can subdue Komodo Juicy. Fortunately, this moose is very smart. When Komodo was reported to be inattentive, get up and quickly rush into the river to get lost. The plan is to use the river water to move Komodo. She drowned in the water. Let the elk never think. Komodo is also known to be able to swim. Where is Rentanel Road hiding? Komodo Creek is always hovering around. Refused to leave other Komodo creeks around. After learning the news, also rushed to the scene of the incident. They crouched on the shore and waited for further discussion. After a stalemate, this Komodo Creek decided to get lost in the water. The dirt road watched the danger getting closer and closer to him. Exerted the strength of breastfeeding. Start a hand-to-hand fight with the third sister-in-law. Komodo is reported. I thought getting lost was my own bag. Lost antlers. Komodo is always informed at critical moments. Returned without success. Komodo is reported to have encountered an accident this time. After a dozen rounds. Didn't take any advantage. Ultimately, Komodo was fleeing in front of a formidable opponent.